Here's a news flash for you. Mel doesn't need my help.
I absolutely adore Doc. He's brilliant, he's clever, he cracks me up every time you speak. He's charming, and I swear to God, if you are gonna scorn like a Scotsman.
Have you seen any of her videos? Or is this just a thing that you're trying to do this divide and conquer, that Mel needs my help because I have testicles for some reason?
Hey guys!
Hello.
Hey,
Hey,
How are you?
nice to be here again.
it's awesome. So, super thanks to Gonna Go For It for making our screens and our intro. And we have a new little thing for Bull, our producer, with the cool little yin yang with the smoke. That was made by Peter. So kudos and props, man. If you like Bull and what he does, throw some bucks his way on his Patreon, man. So, yeah.
Do that now. Everyone, do it now.
So, thanks for being here. We have Omni Eris from the channel. Link to his channel is in the description. So do check out his really cool show, PvP, which Doc is a co-host of, by the way. And I've watched it.
Yeah, it's mine and Doc's show.
Yeah.
And Satan as well, our producer.
Yeah, hail Satan. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Everyone
took the day off of hailing Satan to appear, but I'm assuming there will be another satanic orgy tonight, so looking forward to it.
Every now and then we have to do a rain check on PvP just to let the TARDIS sphere build, and it is building as we speak.
It's a critical mass.
So Omni, why don't you tell everybody who you are, what you love, what you do, your channel? Give it a go, man.
I always hate when people ask me this. I don't know. I don't know how to. I have a YouTube channel where I go after scammers and just generally completely insane people that need to be reined in. Doc and I have been doing psychic vampires for a few years. We don't like shamans very much, pretty notoriously, or Antichrist figures. But yeah, because we're the Antichrists, and how dare they say that they're the real Antichrists? But anyway, so I have that channel. I'm a writer. I have stuff available on Lulu, but that's pretty much it, I guess. A serial killer. Got to throw that in. I almost forgot about that.
Sweet.
Satirically a serial killer in the same way as I'm satirically a baby murdering cannibal.
There you go.
So yeah, we take it to the crazies by out crazying them, and it's interesting. The conspiracy theorists, they get so close, but they never ever go quite far enough.
Well, you got to lead them right to the edge.
You got to lead them there. Thanks for the super chat, Copernicus Thinker. Oh, sorry. So we got a couple super chats. Copernicus Thinker, request to one day hear animated Karen say meow meow. Karen, she's on vacation right now, Doc. She's still with that AI named Bob from Google. She's surfing the net with him for a bit, so
get a bit of break. AI.
Yeah. Well, there's this. Go for it.
Karen's a dirty whore, and I want nothing to do.
It's pronounced hooer. Come on.
Hooer. Except she doesn't have legs. She's just an animated head, and it's really awkward.
Oh, I see.
Some people in the chat said, "Is there really more that you need in previous episodes, Doc?" I don't know how that. I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm lost. I have no idea what's going on.
I have no frame of reference for that comment. I don't know where that was.
Okay,
rephrase,
fair enough.
Please.
Okay, I'll rephrase real quickly though. Nana is patron coming out $6.66. Hail Satan! There you go.
Hail Satan.
Thank you, Nana. So, yeah, somebody had mentioned that since Karen's
Hailing
just a
Satan is
floating head.
lucrative.
That's why. Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. We are three very animated people, so this should be a very, very fun show, I think. I think we're going to have a good time. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. So, yes, there's lots of things that I have in store for you, you know. Yeah, I feel like we could probably do I'm feeling some stuff from you, Michael. I feel like,
well, I have that effect on people.
It's okay. So just to kind of prep you a little bit. So
yeah,
I feel like I have to, kind of read you a little bit. I feel some
Don't
people
look
coming
too
from
deeply
the
into
other
the abyss.
side. Okay, here we go. You have a tendency to have a great need for others to like you and admire you, but that's just, depends on the person, I feel like
No.
A little bit.
Mel?
I'm feeling
Mel?
you have some
Are you cold?
unused
Are you cold reading now? Are you
Anyway.
cold reading?
Shh,
You're
not supposed to tell him that. Talk. Shh.
No.
Yeah,
Michael, you didn't hear that.
I was going to be really resistant to the whole thing and make it impossible for you to cold read me. So,
we wrote the book on this.
So
plus I really am a psychic. So
you really are. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Best them.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Think of a number between 1 and 1,000.
1 and 1,000. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Go.
It was 821.
Nope.
Oh, he's right.
Yes, it was. Don't you lie.
Right.
I just proved it. You can't deny it.
I can't prove that it's not true. I can't prove that it's not true.
666?
It was 897.
Oh, at least I got it in the right.
The truth.
It was in the 800s.
I should have written it down.
I had a 1 in 10 chance of getting it in the 800s, and I did. So I'm 10% psychic, right? Is that how
that seems legit. That's how it works.
I'm gonna start charging. In fact, you need to pay me for that.
I need to pay you for that.
No.
Yeah, I'll give you
the emanations are. My emanations are coming through.
Okay.
It's an older man.
Okay.
An older man.
Mm-hmm.
Was he your grandfather or great grandfather?
I've had both of those. That's amazing. I've had both of those.
He's coming through from the other side.
Okay. Okay.
I think it's your great grandfather.
Okay. I've had those. I've had one of those.
He had arthritis, and his hands were sore towards the end of his life. You see what I'm doing, guys? Here's us through for fucking everybody, and people paying $90 an hour for this bullshit. Oh, an older woman. Oh, it was your grandmother. Yes, she sends her love.
I always think it's funny, like it's disgusting when you see people who are good at cold reading doing it, but it's hilarious when you see people who are bad at it charging for it. So I mean, like what's her name, Melinda Lyons? Like she's just a vapid idiot, and people pay her to get cold readings. I don't understand it. It's like this has such a psychological effect on people to want to speak to their dead loved ones that they just throw reason right out the window and talk to any jackass who will tell them what they want to hear.
Remember when Melinda did this thing? It was it's an older woman. It's your mother? No, your grandmother? A pet? Was it a pet? Was it one of your dogs? It's like,
and that woman stayed on the phone with her for an hour.
Says, yeah, I know.
Oh my god!
She's the Dunning-Kruger psychic because she really thinks she's good at it, and it's just painfully transparent that she's just making shit up. She may not actually be aware that she's cold reading. What do you think?
Yeah, I think some of them are so dumb that they think that they're actually psychic, but they don't realize that they're just using a psychological technique. Yeah, I think that's a common effect.
I have a treat for you guys. I have a video of John Edward calling somebody's gran a bitch.
Maybe she was a bitch.
You know, well, they kept saying no. She was actually quite lovely and nice, and man, he doubles down. So, Bull, do you want to pull up that video? I think it's the Y. It's the one that starts with Y on in the folder. We are so super professional that I don't. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, look at him. He looks like a member of the Starship Enterprise crew there.
I'm being pulled in the section over here. He passed either from lung cancer or emphysema.
Now watch what he
some type of
does.
blackness
This
in the
is
chest that the person passes from. The month of
we have
May
more
or the
volume?
5th of a month
Can you
is
turn up,
connected
Bull,
as well
please?
on this side of the room. So if you have the husband or brother who's passed and there's a lung cancer or blackness in the lungs connection that comes up in this section, and the 5th month May or the 5th of a month is tied to you guys, I want to know that that person is coming through. Separate from that, is there a Brian Flanagan or Flynn or O'Sullivan or O'Reilly or some type of...
What is this?
He's narrowing the
Brian
statistical
something,
odds
Flanagan,
to
Sullivan, something like that. Okay, can you please,
now.
can you stand, please?
Right. Does it start with the letter F?
Would I see that as being the husband, brother, cousin, or friend connected to one of you?
Sullivan and Flanagan don't sound anything
Is he
alike.
Brian James or Brian
No,
John?
but it starts with the letter O, doesn't
I want you to know
it?
that there's a J connection that comes up with him as well.
He's
So it's either
probably
who
in
he
a
is, who he's with, or
predominantly
somebody who's still here.
Irish-American
Somebody,
community.
he's coming. I have to say the same thing. I'm getting this lung
How many
cancer,
Americans will
emphysema,
go,
there's
"Oh,
blackness,
yeah, I've got
there's
Irish
blackness
roots."
to the lungs. There's something like that that I need to bring up. I'm getting a
There's
lot of blackness in here,
in the
which
lungs.
only takes to be
Okay.
healthcare related. Now,
She's
are you
just
connected to his
nodding.
mom?
He gets it wrong here, which is great.
You are mom. Okay, good. That's so funny. He's telling me to connect you to the word mom, but I didn't think you looked old enough to be his mom, the way I was getting this. So I thought you guys were going to be on the same level because I keep getting husband, brother, cousin, friend, husband, brother, cousin, friend. So this is your son, Brian?
Husband, brother, cousin, friend.
Why is
Okay, which one is it?
deal about his last name? Because I don't normally get last names. Like, is he like...
St. Patrick's Day.
Because it's St. Patrick's Day and he would be Irish. Okay, so...
Note their body language.
so today was...
on board.
Did it... Is it his last name's not Brian, is it?
No.
No, the first name's Brian. Yes. Okay, because they will tell you that before we came down here. I was like, I got Brian here. Like, Brian wanted to be first.
Oh,
so
man.
Brian wanted to be first.
Always first.
Now, is there a reason why he wants me to talk about September 11th? Did he have any ties to September 11th? Yes? Like, is that how he passed, or does he know somebody there?
Oh,
he's telling me to tie it to that person.
Watch what he says to her.
So what is September
This is
11th?
amazing.
Fireman.
He's a fireman?
No.
I don't know what you want me to say.
I just want you to validate what I'm telling you because...
Just validate what I'm telling you.
Right before he passed, and his dad was a fireman.
Okay, so what the hell does that have to do with September 11th?
His dad knew
Oh
about
my
it.
God.
So let me do it my way. There's a September 11th connection that they
Oh,
want
I
me
love
to
how he
connect
starts
with,
to
which either means
excoriate
that
them
the
for not
September
going
11th,
along
which is
with
when
it.
somebody passed,
I
or
know
they
it's
want me to
great,
bring up
isn't
the
it?
September 11th connection, like 911, not as an emergency, but like...
Clearly,
a
I'm not
September 11th.
wrong.
And has your mom
Fall
passed
in
too?
line, women.
He's telling
Fall
me to
in
acknowledge Brian.
line.
Note the pace and pitch of his speech.
No. Is your mom not nice?
Oh, my mother's the best.
My mom is nice.
You know, one of the things that I'm very, very much known
Oh,
for
they
is
paid to
always
go there and
sticking
he's
to the
gonna call her
information,
dead
even though it's
mom a
uncomfortable
bitch.
and I'm now sweating.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting the
Oh.
feeling of not liking the older female, like not liking the mother figure. So if you tell me that you didn't like his father's mother, then I would
Because they
understand
fucked
that.
with him for 5 seconds. Here it goes.
I don't
Yeah, your
think I
granny's
do.
a bitch.
I don't think I do.
It's something to think about.
If I said to you that your son loves you and he's standing with you and he had his hand on your shoulder, would that make you feel good?
Motherfucker.
See, he's like, "Sir, would that make you feel good?"
That's not what you want.
Okay, I just want to be really clear because I can't tell you what you want to hear. I can only tell you what they're showing me. And if he's calling your
I
mother a
can't
bitch,
tell
I'm
you
gonna
what
pass
you
it on.
want to hear. Is he really playing the confirmation bias card?
No. You said you don't think he would do that, but you can't hear what I can hear. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not asking, I'm telling you that I'm kind of getting the feeling.
Keep going. It's all right.
Say it again. Say it again.
Keep
Grandma's gonna
going.
be pissed, but go ahead.
I can't hear you. Say it again.
Grandma's gonna be pissed, but go ahead.
But there has to be a reference that he's telling me to bring up. Like, now if there's a joke
And
about
now they're
this
getting
and it's his way
offended.
of playing with her,
Yeah.
then that's absolutely fine. Who's got or she's acting like a bitch to someone.
Yeah, that's a reset.
again?
By the way, are there any men in the audience?
If grandma's
is it just
acting
There
like a
are.
bitch towards
There are.
someone else, I'm right down with that, which is his way of saying I see what's going on. And I still have somebody's husband or brother in this back session who back there.
So he's
who
like,
had either
"Okay, so
lung
it's not
cancer
two
or
bitches.
emphysema, 'cause
We'll
I'm
move
being
on to
told back
somebody
there.
else.
Can you
Sit
please
down."
Don't leave yet.
Husband,
Look at that.
Are you connected to them at all?
friend.
Okay.
Oh
why
my
is the Friday
God.
important to you guys? Like the 5th month May or the 5th of a month? Whoever came with you, please
Here
stand.
we go.
Oh, here's the dude. Okay, here's some more people.
What's the
So,
lung cancer connection of the...
see, he's still trying
That's
to do
right.
the original thing.
He passed?
Yes.
Okay.
Ah,
Lung cancer?
thank you for the super chat.
Okay. And his dad is also passed?
Yes.
Okay. And there's an
Alan,
alcohol
thank
connection in
you.
that family? Somebody was known either for working with alcohol or they had a problem with it?
The brother that died.
Okay. And are you guys one of 4?
Oh.
So many people have problems with
Yes.
alcohol that
Okay,
it's
and
not
out of the 4 of
exactly
you, 3 are
a
similar,
narrow
1 is
target.
different?
Okay.
Yeah,
Y'all want to talk
Brian is
about
pretty
this?
much-
Let's pause this and let's pull us back and talk about this.
I don't have a
Oh my
Brian.
god.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm going to
God.
give you Michael, I've got the
What?
psychic emanations coming through again. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm getting the feeling that a person in your family, like an older person, has died from cancer or maybe heart disease or stroke.
No,
Am I
you got
right?
it right. It was cancer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's cancer.
You see what I just did? It's like most people die of
Magic.
cancer, heart disease, and stroke. So Barnum's statement is true for, or maybe has someone in your family suffered from diabetes? Herp?
Well, I loved,
Perhaps?
like, there were 5 people standing there, and he says, anybody have any connection to alcoholism? It's like, there's 5 people there. I'm sure they all know someone who's an alcoholic. And probably they know multiple people who are alcoholics who have died. I mean, this is, and they're all older people that stood up.
Yeah.
But
Ah.
Yeah, older people dying of lung disease after smoking a fucking like 500 cigarettes a day since
Right.
1938. Oh yeah, that's got to be supernatural perception. And
It's
they often do the
demons.
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, except it's not like 9/11. Do you have a connection to 9/11? Wait a minute, I do. I have friends who are in New York and firemen. Therefore, I have a connection. I wonder if everybody can draw a connection to that event.
Did you notice that even when he was wrong, he doubled down and was like, okay, so it's not you guys. I'm moving over
Right.
here. When they weren't
Yeah.
playing nice, he's like, okay, F you. And he moves on.
Yeah,
The super chat really quickly. F-U-C-K, Stefan Meow Meow. We don't like Stefan Molinov because he's a coward.
Oh,
so
I
we
hate
call him
him.
Meow.
He's so disgusting.
He's like,
Uh,
he's another person who's blocked me on Twitter, including John Edwards. John Edwards blocked me on Twitter. I guess he doesn't want to watch the show.
I don't dislike him particularly, except for the fact that he's a crypto-fascist and a self-important little nerd, as far as I can
Who's
No.
tell.
Stefan Molyneux?
Yeah.
I like when Stefan Molyneux posts on Twitter, like, his opinions on what women should do and how they should act to get a real man. I'm like, women would probably eat their own vomit before they would get anywhere near you, most women. And women that would get near him, like, they're probably just as grotesque as he is. He is, like, a grotesque person.
He's
Like,
pretty
for him
gross.
to feel arrogant enough to judge women is just ridiculous.
Michael speaks as emperor of gay people, and
It's true.
of course that
the
makes his
ambassador.
opinion like the most important. Mel,
I'm
if
LGBTQ
Stefan
and on.
Molyneux, if Stefan was the last man on Earth, would you even consider him seeing your ass?
Oh God, no. I would feed him to, like, I don't know. I think it might be easier because there's no way that we could ever repopulate the planet. So it might just be good just to get it over
It would
with
be
and use him as
responsible.
fertilizer. You know, we could just
Right.
use him as fertilizer and maybe, grow food for a little while.
Yeah, you could eat
I
him.
don't know.
I mean,
He's put on a little weight, Michael. I was just thinking the same thing. He's
Yeah.
a little chubby, probably
Great
a barbecue
minds.
up a tree.
we can
Oh,
have
you're
some
like
Mrs. Dash.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh my
So
gosh,
wicked.
I don't know. I don't want to eat his diseases though. That's what I'm saying, man. He's got to be
You gotta
pretty
cook
gross.
him real thoroughly. Yeah,
You
cook
gotta
him,
cook
right,
him
Doc?
right. That's it.
Yeah, I suppose you have a point there. Or
Stay
I
away
could
from the
just use
dark
him
meat.
as mushrooms. I could grow mushrooms out of them. That would be quite good. It depends on where I'm at. If I'm on a tropical island, I might want to put some of that as farmland, and that would be very
Yeah.
good, rich.
Mel, you're
soil,
overthinking it.
You
You're
could
over-
stuff him
yeah.
and mount his head on the wall. You could always just
I
look up.
could. It could be like
And
one
you
of
could
those
put a
Billy
clown
Bass
nose
fish
on it.
things. Oh, we
Yeah.
can make his mouth move like a Billy Bass fish thing and make him sing
Make
like,
him
you know,
sing a
in the
song.
jungle, the mighty jungle. You know, that would be great, man. A weembo up, a weembo up. That would be fantastic.
Just get him to say, I'm a misogynist Nazi little fuck. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh, did I
You'd
say
have him
that? I
sing the
meant to
German
just-
national anthem circa the 1940s.
Just that specific, that could be like connected to the clock, specific hours of the day. Oh, it's tea time. Must hear Stefan Molyneux sing the German Nazi theme song.
Yeah.
Sit around party, eating,
You
crumpets.
could put a playlist on there and just have it switch it up between different songs. You
I
know?
could live my whole life and never revisit that particular
Oh,
set of
goodness.
images.
I
Copernicus
like him to sing
thinker.
Rock Lobster.
Rock. Oh my God, that'd be great. Copernicus thinker on Super Chatted. Bet Edwards can't divine secrets of animated Karen. People love Karen, Doc. You might have to withstand some more Karen in the future.
No, no, you're wrong about that. I don't have to do that. Karen needs to learn that no means no, and she can fuck right off.
But
I
what
don't know
if
you
Karen
do-
wants to thank you? What if she wants to thank you for being like on the show and like pet you on the head or something, you know, and show inappropriate affection ways of, you know,
Yeah,
saying thank
again,
you Doc,
yeah,
for being on
and
the
this
show.
kind of uncomfortable raping. Nah, not really my style. Karen's a bit like Holly from Red Dwarf, only annoying.
Yeah, well,
Imagine, yeah, she could be modelled on Melinda Lyons. Actually, she's about that vapid. Oh, wait a minute! I'm getting more psychic emanations. They're coming through.
okay,
Mel,
okay, yes.
have you in your adult life gone through a traumatic experience that left you upset and sensitized about future experiences?
Has absolutely happened to me, dude.
See, I'm fucking good at
See?
this.
You are really
That's
good
the
at
sidekick.
this. That's happened.
Yeah.
It's like you know me. Oh my goodness. So,
Someone
in
in the
regard,
chat asked. Oh,
Mhm.
sorry.
No, go
Someone in
for
the
it.
chat asked. Someone in the chat asked if I'm hiding Tim Holmseth, and I have to admit I have been harboring him since he's been on the run from the police the last week.
Yeah, we've got
He's
him in the
chained
cabin
up right
at the
over there.
moment.
Shut up, Tim. Sorry, he was piping up.
Hey, Tim.
It
Yeah,
puts the
cut off
lotion
another
on
toe
it.
if he gives you any trouble tonight, Michael.
I'm gonna beat him with a
Man.
wooden spoon.
Do you know
Some
who
people
Tim
might
is?
be into that.
I think he is into it. I mean, I did it last night, and so he made a mess. I'll just leave it at that. And then I'm gonna burn my
No.
apartment down now that I said that because that's so gross.
Yeah, Tim, remember, once you run out of toes, it's your left nut. So you better behave.
Oh, he already had that taken away.
God.
It's gone.
Oh, of course he did.
I used a claw hammer. All right, a little depraved. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. So, so we were watching John Edwards. Bull, do you want to see the tweet that got me blocked? I think that's on under episode 8. You can pull the tweets up, starting in low number to high number, I guess. So I've been blocked by John Edwards. Let's see the tweets that got me blocked, because clearly I'm a mean person on Twitter. You know, I'm very mean, and I'm the scourge of most men when it comes to the internet. They like fear me. Do you see it in the folder, Bull? No.
I love when assholes block me on Twitter. I always feel like,
It's-
oh, success.
It's so much
Did you call
fun.
him a charlatan, parasitic piece of shit?
I called him a
Or
grifter.
anything like that?
I called him
Oh,
a
that's
grifter.
pretty
That's the
harsh.
nice way to say it.
You know.
You know,
Do you see them, Bull? I don't know if you see them or not. There should be an episode 8 folder right next to like the main picture. Is Bull there?
Wait a second here. I'm getting more psychic emanations. They're coming through.
Okay.
Here it is. John Edwards and his ilk take every credit card receipt from ticket sales and do a cursory net search, including hospital records, court records, names, addresses, siblings, and related folks. And you can find out an amazing amount about people for about $19.95 in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, they used to, the Christian auditorium preachers used to do this to get their revelations in the 80s. He's probably got something in his ear, too.
Yeah, it's really simple to do.
I think it's really interesting that John Edwards seems to have been given a free pass. He appeared on Dr. Phil and Oprah and was giving them readings. I'm first off, Dr. Phil doesn't even believe in this. He says he's a huge Christian. So why is he legitimizing it? It's he's almost ingrained himself in with these establishment people to the point where now it's just oh, he's a psychic. Let's just accept it. And he's been getting away with it for 20 years now.
Wait a second. I'm getting a psychic memory from the Bible. Isn't necromancy, as in talking to, communicating with, or otherwise fucking with the dead, really, really bad? That's Satan's work.
Not if you do it on the Dr. Phil show. It's okay.
Yeah. And Oprah. Okay, here's my psychic reading of Oprah. Oh, yep. The spirits are telling me you love money and you think you're smart.
You know what's really funny? I find it's just these people don't understand, and it's almost like a special kind of evil to just kind of utilize and use people's grief against them in order to extract money from them. And that's something that a lot of these grifters do. So I have all kinds of...
I think it is grossly unethical, but up to a point, it's caveat emptor, because you have to want to go along with it. But there's an aspect of hypnosis at a very low level, but it's extremely effective, especially when you're talking to an audience of about 50 to 100 people. You can have them eaten out the palm of your hand.
I wanted to add too, before I forget, when he was talking to those women, he was browbeating them. They were put on the spot in front of everybody, and he's like, come on now, I know you can do this, make the connection, tell me something that sounds like what I want to hear. And they're you could see them sitting there racking their thoughts, I gotta say something that'll please him, because he's helping me speak to my dead loved ones. I don't want to miss this opportunity. So it's total hypnosis. And it's also a weird, public shaming in a way.
It is. And when they don't, it kind of is. And he'll reward positive behavior.
Yeah.
And
it's emotional manipulation.
It is. And he'll turn around and go, okay, no, you're not giving me what I want. It's not you. Go sit down. Let me go over these
with you,
people. They're going to get my attention. Yeah. So it's just...
in case anyone's wondering, I can teach an adult of average or above average intelligence, anyone, how to do this in about an hour, at least as well as he can. Maybe without some of the performance nuance. But the bare technique is a teachable thing, and it's not difficult.
No, it's not.
A weird... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just agreeing.
I was just going to say, it's a weird, it's a psychic molestation. He's basically putting his hand in their mind and feeling around and touching and seeing what he can grab, and then just exploiting it for his own monetary and gain and notoriety. But it seems a lot of things don't... I mean, I can't believe he's been getting away with it for 20 years, and there aren't just tons of expose videos on him. And it seems like he's gained more respect rather than less. I mean, you would think he would crash and burn after a while, but...
You would think. I think Bull has those pictures really quickly. I think we finally found them. Bull, pull those up. Let's see how I hurt poor John Edwards' feelings. All right, so first he blocked me. And I know some of you guys can't read that. So this is what I said, essentially. Wrong way. There you go. So first he blocks me. And then I said, this is happening today. We are destroying the likes of, psychic medium J.E. So if you want to find him and express your feelings, feel free. And the grift of the medium. Want to see what happens when John Edwards is wrong? Check it out. Set a reminder, like, share, and subscribe. #Worldacity. And then I said, we have a video of John Edwards calling someone's dead gran a bitch. That's the next one. I said, we have a new set of challenges from our resident ALF, alien life form, named Roswell. So, Michael, you'll love that, Omni Eris. You're going to love that.
Okay.
Can you tell if it's a conspiracy, if it's a real conspiracy or not? We got Science on Medium. Yeah. And Doc Savage has an interesting show planned ahead for him because Doc Savage goes in cold. You go in cold every time. You have no idea what we're going to do. And so essentially, yeah. So I called him a grifter, and that hurt his fee-fees. His little feelings.
Remember, I think his feelings probably got hurt when he was voted the biggest douche in the universe on South Park, and they gave him a whole episode where the aliens came from other planets because he had won the biggest douche in the universe. He goes,
Thank you. So
that probably hurt his feelings.
That probably did. But in the spirit of the show, we have a brand new sponsor for the show with a commercial. And so this is a very highly produced type of commercial with all of the new technology we have. So, cool. Do you have our new commercial from our latest sponsor? I'm really excited about this. I think you guys can appreciate it. And be certain, if you want to have access to these particular new sponsors, just message me and give me your $19.95, and I'll make certain it gets to the right people. You got the commercial?
Hello. I am the digital representation of ScientistMel. I want to take a moment to thank all of my patrons on patreon.com/ScientistMel, as well as all of you who are giving through Super Chats and my help with GoFundMe for my computer. Thank you so much, as well as PayPal and any Streamlabs donations. I really appreciate your help. So guess what, guys? We have a special word from our newest sponsor. So let's check it out. Yay!
Do you have a banging in the night? Do you hear sinister voices? You ever feel a cold chill pierce you to your very soul? When is the last time you had your house cleansed for dark spirits? Fear not, we are the Ghost Stalkers, here to rid your home of those pesky poltergeists. We customize seances to fit any individual needs and budgets. Ghost eradication is quick and easy and leaves your home smelling lemon squeezy. We have vegan, keto, and gluten-free options. Check with our spiritual nutritionist to help remove any poop demons that might be reoccurring.
Poop demons.
Join our loyalty club and get updates on new services and discounts for every 5th ghost removal. Call 555-GHOST. That's 555-GHOST for the deadly deets. Services start at just $19.95. Here at Ghost Stalkers, we not only clean your house, but your body too. We stalk those who stalk you.
Does it get rid of whispering butthole demons?
Michael, once again, I was just about to ask that very question, although I was going to upgrade to yodeling butthole demons. And the poltergeists are, they're like having pets for me, or company, or roommates.
Yeah, I like them. Because I wouldn't want to get rid of them.
Tidy up my place. It's awesome.
And they scare away all of the neighborhood cats. So
yeah. You may have a Roomba. I have a room full of ghosts, really tidy ones.
Have they scared off Slippery Dan yet?
Yeah.
Who's Slippery Dan?
One of the ghosts may be Slippery Dan, one of the mice that I have successfully murdered in the last couple of weeks.
We know way too many Dans because it could be any number of them.
Well, yeah, Slippery Dan, Magical Dan.
Dan Shelley, Dan Pratt.
Dan Pratt. Oh, freaking Dan Pratt. Mr. Potato Head. He's a flat earther, Mel, and he's dumb, even for a flat earther.
He does the Flat Earth food drive Remember? Then he never shows the receipts. Every Christmas he does the Flat Earth food drive, gets thousands of dollars in donations, and says he's going to go buy canned goods to donate to the homeless, and he's going to write research Flat Earth on them and just go hand them out to the homeless, but never shows the canned goods, never shows the receipts. But his kids got a new PS4 last year, I heard. So
yeah, it was nice.
That's fantastic. I'm particularly interested in the keto and vegan options associated with the ghost stalkers, you know, and the poop demons.
Vegan Ghostbusters. That's great. What, they throw an avocado at you.
See, I'm just a straight up carnivore, so I like raw, rotten flesh, like Severage and Frank Tufano. I like high meat. You guys ever cover high meat on this show?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you don't know what it is?
No, I haven't heard. Educate me. Tell me all about it.
You want to explain it, Doc?
Yeah, sure. Severage is a psychopath, and he really gets off on needling people who like vegetables and fruit by consuming raw, decomposing flesh.
Yeah. He'll put some veal testicles in a jar and let them rot for 6 months, and then he'll spoon feed them to himself on camera, and he'll eat their brains. God. Pretty sure he beats his girlfriend, but you know.
I'm pretty sure that the raw meat eating bit is real, and there are meats that I eat raw, but I'm pretty sure that the rotten flesh bit is entirely would be fucking sick as a dog, like projectile
you would die from that, right?
Oh goodness!
You would think, but
I mean, your body, based on the smell of that kind of stuff, if you've ever been around dead people, your body is programmed to respond by vomiting, and it's the same smell.
Right.
You just can't get that past your lips.
Well, they call it a smell of death.
Well, I have some fun things for you to look at later on when we get to stupid things people have said on the internet, you know, so
that's cool.
Not unrelated to that. So we like to be well-rounded with our education here.
I've got one
area of expertise.
Can I suggest one? It's stupid things the Commander-in-Chief has said this week.
Oh man, there's been so many.
Yeah, nuclear weapons and the weather. That's a great combination. Let's some storms and see what happens. What could go wrong?
Spread that radiation around with high winds. That's not a bad idea.
I wish he would nuke the hurricane if it's going to hit Mar-a-Lago, but I don't know.
It's going to miss Mar-a-Lago.
What he said today. Now the response to mass shootings, there was one yesterday where a 17-month-old little girl was shot in the face. She survives, but Donald Trump responded, "It could have been worse." Like that's now the it's not even thoughts and prayers anymore. Now it's just, well, it could have been worse.
It could have been worse.
You got lucky there.
Oh
lovely.
my gosh.
Yep,
oh
could
my
have been
gosh.
so worse.
Yeah, maybe next time it will be.
Lucky day to get shot in the face, little girl. Jesus.
Okay, so have you guys heard of Sylvia Browne? That psychic.
Yes.
She had
when she predicted that person who died in 9/11, right?
we've got a video of her where she was dead wrong about the death of a kid. And so bull. Let's see if you can pull that up. And let's comment the whole time during it, so I don't get yelled at by
so glad
CNN.
She's in hell.
This is under the Riff videos, and it should be psychic was dead wrong. Awesome.
Cases, in fact, right on.
It's one thing to be a psychic predicting love or the lack thereof.
This
Can
comes
you
from
tell me where
CNN.
my love life's going?
Nowhere.
But there's nothing funny when it comes to predicting life or death.
She's gone, honey.
She always went on these shows. Wasn't she on Montel all the time?
In that case,
Yes.
psychic Sylvia Browne was right.
Yes,
now
she was.
she's under attack.
What a horrible human being.
For being wrong about this girl.
Help
Oh my, yeah, I forgot about
Almost
this.
9 years ago,
Yeah.
Amanda Berry's mom
I
went
lived
on
in
the
Cleveland,
Montel
and I went
Williams
by that
show,
house.
where resident psychic
After all
Sylvia
that happened,
Browne spoke of
I think they
Amanda.
took
Don't
it
think I'll
down
ever
by
see her
now.
again. Yeah, in
Yeah.
heaven on the other side.
The WMMS morning
yeah.
show in Cleveland reenacted the transcript. The host read
And the
the
woman
part of the
died
psychic.
before
I hate
she ever
this when they
found out
Yeah.
her daughter
are.
was still
She's
alive.
not alive, honey.
Yeah.
Not alive? Then
All
who's
right.
this?
I've been
They
kidnapped
found her.
and I've been missing for 10 years and I'm here, I'm free now.
That was
Amanda's
crazy.
mom is
Oh
one no
God.
longer
All right,
alive.
let's leave
She
this
came
because
home
this
from the
woman's horrible. All right. So the gist of this is essentially Sylvia Browne told the mother of the daughter who's been missing for 10 years that her daughter was dead. The mother died thinking that her daughter was dead. Come to find out, nope, she was just missing for 10 years, and she was kidnapped and held hostage
Right.
for that time. What
And it's weird too,
horrible garbage.
because like when you tell the mother that the daughter's dead, if she begins to accept it, then, and she did give up, they kind of stopped searching. I mean, who knows? If she hadn't have said that, maybe they would have kept searching and they would have found her like years before they did. But it doesn't matter to people like Sylvia Browne. So, and in fact, I think she probably really thought she was accurate as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's her
But
arrogance
she's
that's
al-
more offensive than anything.
Mm.
Sorry.
she's also playing the dice again. You know,
Right.
young girl goes missing after 72 hours. Certainly, most police departments consider the probability of a live recovery to be limited. So, she's dead, meaning she's probably dead if reality is a thing and horrible things happen.
Right.
Good gamble. And after 10 years, well, you're legally declared dead, so technically she was correct, right?
Yeah.
I love the ones that go to the police, telling the police they're having psychic visions about missing children. And then if it's like the middle of, Sodomy, Idaho, then sometimes the police will actually listen to the psychic and start responding to them in their investigation. It's, I don't know, it's really bizarre.
My dad spoke to me about this, and I mean, he was involved in all kinds of investigations, and the psychics generally said the same exact thing. Oh yeah, she's it's close to water or a vehicle or wooded land. I'm like, this is Scotland. Water and vehicles and wooded land, that's everywhere,
God.
right?
Are you certain? It's one of those weird things.
Didn't
What?
Sylvia Browne also have she had a TV appearance where she told this lady that her daughter was in water and dead, and the lady was like, well, my daughter died at 9/11. She was in the World Trade Center, so there's no way her body is in water. And I think she just kept sputtering around.
She spun it. She was like, oh, and the fire hose is dripping through the thing and the water dripping. Yeah, hateful bitch. Just making it up.
And then she died shortly thereafter. I don't know how long she's been dead now. It's been a while, right?
I don't even know.
Funny, none of the psychics come back from the other side, do they? They're all pretty
they never do.
dumb once they cross over. You heard one
How
of
come
them.
the psychics didn't handle the other psychics? Sorry.
Yeah, you'd think they'd be all over the place. Doris Stokes sending her little old lady craziness back. Nope, not a word. It's almost as if they make it all up.
So I have some stuff for you, Doc. Did you know that people actually do some science on psychics, and there's a whole organization just on sciencing psychics and mediums? Let's see. Bull. There's a link. There's some links under medium studies. It's winbridge.org/mediums. And then we have some screenshots of their information on how to engage with a medium. Now, this particular website, I came across it from our favorite people at Goop. You remember we talked about Goop a couple weeks ago, and you learned about them.
Is that Gwyneth Paltrow's woo site?
Yes.
She saw yoni eggs on there?
Yeah, she's
yoni eggs.
Yeah, the jade eggs and stuff. Yeah.
Those are really
So,
healthy.
Vagina
yeah,
steaming, I think, was a thing. She does the
yeah,
poached
that's,
vagina for $49.95. Awesome.
yeah, yeah.
I hear if you leave those eggs in there long enough, they hatch and a lizard person crawls out. So
That's
I'm gonna
exactly
give it a shot.
what happened to this.
Mine's been inside me for 45 days. I'm sorry.
Khaleesi.
Come out burning.
I got those pictures ready, Mel.
Oh, you got the pictures? Okay, we'll have a look at the link in a bit. But this is from winbridge.org/mediums. And so, oh, that's the wrong one. Not that one. Look under medium studies on medium1.png. We're going to talk about the Barnum statements in a minute. But medium1.png, yes. So this particular website, they're the Winbridge Research Center. An actual PhD runs this, Doc. You remember we've talked about them. And so this essentially says, mediums are individuals who experience regular communication with the deceased called discarnates. So they call them discarnates, and report the resulting information to the discarnate.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
Yes.
I want it one fallacy at a time. That first sentence of supernatural bullshit, right?
Yes.
Presupposes facts not in evidence.
Right.
All right, I'm done. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. No worries. And so they report the resulting information to the discarnate's living friends or relatives called sitters during specific events called reading. Now, a mediumship reading involves at least 3 people, the medium, the sitter, and the discarnate. In order for it to go well, all 3 of those people need to be a good fit and be willing participants. The sitters can optimize the reading process by using the do's and don'ts below, before, during, and after the reading. The list below was created with input from mediums who notice the readings don't go as well when sitters have unrealistic expectations about mediums' abilities after seeing mediums on TV only giving accurate and meaningful information. Go figure! They don't do so well with skeptic sitters. It's important to remember that shows on TV are edited and real mediums and discarnates aren't perfect. So let's have a look at the next one.
This is LARPing. I mean, they're just like pretending that this matters, and when it really doesn't.
Right.
There's some arbitrary rules that some idiots made up. They're totally legit because
it's science, because we said it is.
Let's look at the next image. Medium 2, I think, is the name of the next image pool. I think it's right after this one. Let's look at these do's and don'ts on how to properly medium. Okay. All right. So for this one, all right. Medium 2, yes. Okay, so here, you guys, now listen, this is terribly important information on how to do this properly. Do remember that your medium's instructions should carry more weight than the suggestions listed here. So what they say is more important than this terribly scientific list of suggestions. Okay?
All right.
All right. Do remember that which discarnates and which items come through are not up to the medium any more than what you hear when answering a ringing phone or see when reading an incoming text is up to you. So they don't get to pick their messages. So have a little sympathy, guys.
So what's the point then? If it's just Buck, you could meet Joe the Ragman, and he'll tell you a story that's not relevant to you in any way.
Because if you get to accurately pick who you're talking to in the messages, then you're expected to be accurate. But when it's all random, then you have the perfect explanation for why it never comes true or never is accurate. You can say, well, I guess there was a little static. This is not a perfect science. It's not a science at all.
A minute,
no,
Michael,
it's not.
I'm getting emanations. Someone in your life called David, James, or Robert, or Patrick. Is that right?
There's a few of those dinged.
See that? I'm super psychic.
You're a super psychic. That's right.
And you know,
all right.
Those people who go to those things are like, of course somebody died in their life that they're close to. That's the whole reason they came. So it's not very hard to pick that.
Right. Well, this is what else they say. You get another one. Okay, go for it.
Yeah. This is not bullshit, but it's kind of fun, so carry on, Mel.
Okay. All right. So keep in mind, you need to keep the needs of your medium above yourself. Y'all don't be so selfish for FFS, for effing's sake. I'm trying not to swear too much because YouTube is weird.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't rush into a reading before you and your discarnate are ready. So if your loved one dies immediately, maybe give it some time for them to separate their soul from their body. I'm just saying. There's no time limit on communication, guys. All right?
I thought you can't even pick who you're going to talk to. The rules are already contradicting each other.
I know. I know.
During the time that your discarnate is preparing, that's when you put aside your ethics, honesty, and your love for your fellow man.
Yeah.
I think it's so disrespectful to speak for someone who's already dead. I mean, that's like one of the most disrespectful, because they're not even around to say that that's not how it is. And then you can make it seem to all of these dumb, gullible people, like, as a good example is channeling Eric. He's more known for what they did to him after he died than his entire life he's known for. It's really disturbing.
That's the bottom of the barrel. Absolutely. So for anyone in the audience who isn't familiar, channeling Eric is the tragedy of a young man's suicide, now exploited financially by his, but it has destroyed her career because she's patently a fraud and probably insane.
That's awful.
And they sell T-shirts with his face on it as well.
Yeah.
Not the suicide face, but the live.
He never
face,
consented to any of this.
Oh my God!
If it would, sell more pictures, they would have the morgue photo. If it would sell more, they'd have the morgue pictures in there.
Guys, I'll be right back.
No problem. So I'm going to finish these rules here. Be careful. It says, do choose a medium with care. Choose one recommended by trusted friends or one vetted by an organization that uses transparent testing procedures.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Any organization that transparently tests mediums, psychics, intercessory prayer, sock goblins, finds that there's no evidence for any of them.
Oh my goodness. This is what they say. To choose one from your list, ask your discarnate to help you be inspired to feel which one is right for you. The right medium for one might not be the right medium for another. If they can make you feel those things, why are you going to a medium? I don't understand this. And it's okay. So carrying on. Don't forget that your discarnate is part of the reading. Let them know you'd like them to participate. Do know that a medium does not need to be in your area to provide a good reading. A phone reading is just as good, if not better, than an in-person reading. Your discarnate will be able to find the medium whether you are in the room with her or him or not.
Because it's all made up, Madame Cleo, right? I picked my medium using a plumb bob pendulum. And you can tell by the way the pendulum swings which medium you're meant to.
Oh my God.
If only they all had stories like Miss Cleo, who ended up going to prison.
Oh my God. And here's the money.
In luxury.
Do you understand that a medium who charges more money or has more social media followers is not necessarily better or worse than any other medium? You think? Are you sure?
No, every bit as bad as every other medium.
Oh God! The rest of these, the rest of these rules are just ridiculous. I don't even want to read them anymore. Bull, do you want to pull up the website, the Windbridge website, so you guys can go take a look at this garbage? And they're researching. They actually, and I have a paper for this. So here we go. So this is winbridge.org/medium. So, and they did actually do a study with 6 of these mediums. So that's an extremely impressive amount of people.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay. So, and you can, and we'll pull the study up here in a second. This particular one. So this, before participating in research at the Winbridge Research Center, each prospective research medium was screened over several months using an intensive 8-step screening and training procedure, a whole 8 steps. Now, these steps include a written questionnaire, personality, psychological tests, a phone interview, that twice. Okay, they interview them on the phone twice. Then they do 2 blinded phone readings. Then they have mediumship research training. I don't even know what that means.
You know what all of this boils down to, Mel, right? This is
What's
the great sifter to find the most retarded of the lot of them. Find the most gullible, malleable, idiotic. I mean, the guy could basically say, "Do you believe in flat Earth?" and then get the same result.
Oh my God! Well, no, go for it, Michael. Go for it. I can't deal with these people, man. They make me nuts.
I was just gonna say, like, imagine if these people put their time and effort into solving a real problem. Like, I don't know, if they're gonna spend all of this money and time to learn how to be a psychic, maybe instead they could try to solve hunger in their cities, or just any number of things that are actual problems that they could focus on fixing, instead of pretending that they're special and have magic powers. It's actually offensive that they take this seriously, because there are real problems, and they're just going to waste everyone's time and try to get everyone to believe this crap is real when it's obviously not.
Okay, so Doc, okay.
Take a grocery to your nearest public park.
I gotta tell you something. No, after you're done, I gotta tell you something. Go for it. Okay. What's your suggestion?
Take a grocery bag to your nearest public park and pick up garbage and put it in a garbage can. You get some exercise, you improve the environment. It's a nice thing to do for your community. It's always welcome. Try it.
That's
go
quite
to an
useful.
animal shelter and pet the dogs.
So, Doc, I'm going to throw this particularly terribly important publication at you, where they've got their contemporary methods that have been used in laboratory-based mediumship research. Are you ready?
Awesome. Yeah, bring it.
The Journal of Parapsychology
is a legitimate journal.
Yes.
Yeah, you can find it on Blogspot.
Yeah. The Journal of Parapsychology.
It is a legitimate journal that frequently demonstrates that parapsychology isn't really a thing, but psychology almost always is.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for the super chat, Copernicus speaker. Your medium may vary. Yeah, that's true. Your medium may vary. They did actually publish a paper that's saying essentially that the brains of people who are mediums are different than those who are not mediums, with a whole sample size of 6 people.
Oh,
6
wow.
people.
Yeah, 6 people and probably no controls whatsoever, right?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
What about people?
I wouldn't be surprised if they really do have different brains, though, because they all think and act the same way. So, they don't act like most people. So wouldn't their brains probably image differently? They probably have a higher concentrations wherever narcissism is rooted.
They used EEGs. They used EEGs, not even any kind of scanning, PT, something. EEGs, like they stick them electroencephalograms.
Right, so not an MRI or anything.
No, not an MRI. No, any other structural scanning. It was exclusively based on EEGs.
So what they're really looking at is differences in electrical activity in brains rather than structures of brains. A momentary thing, not.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's not really evidence of anything.
No, no, it's not. And what they did is they took the readings when they were thinking about a known living person. So there are 4 different times they did readings. They're thinking about a known living person. When they were listening to a biography, so they took readings then, and they made them be quiet for 20 seconds so they could get these readings, for extra time. Then thinking about an imaginary person, they took a reading on that. Okay. Right. And then 4, interacting mentally with a known deceased person. Those are the 4 times they took readings with these 6 mediums.
I mean, this looks and sounds a bit like science, but it's off in any number of ways. So to me, it sounds like a good attempt made by maybe a first-year undergraduate at a study.
I think there's an easier way to do it than that. Okay, so if the ghost is talking to 2 psychics, you can tell the psychics, the ghost should tell you both the same number, put them in 2 separate rooms, and they should come up with the same number if they're both psychics interacting with the same ghost. You don't need to do an EEG. It's really simple test. And who is the escape artist? He's a famous escape artist. God, Houdini. He had a password he was going to give people at seances after he died. No one's ever come up with that password. So.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. The whole thing is so bogus. It's a little bit like science, but it's science like creationist science.
It's pretend science.
Not quite getting there, really.
It's really funny. I found another paper, which, is always fun. I like looking for the papers. I'm like, okay, let me find papers, because, we love destroying them. Destroying Deepak's Nature paper was utter joy for me. And it wasn't even really Nature. It was a fake, not fake.
I invite Deepak to destroy my Nature paper, bitch.
So there was an investigation of mediums who claimed to give information about deceased persons. This was by Dr. Emily Williams Kelly and Diane Archangel. Interesting name. So they did 2 separate studies. The first study was a very small sample size, and they didn't have any definitive. It was just like 4 mediums did 3 readings, and no good connections whatsoever. They were off more than they were on. They did a larger study, and they did better on that one. But isn't that the law of statistics? The more people you have, the more likely you're going to have something that hits. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, I mean, especially with a study that's base output is based on something very, very subjective. So unless you control this very carefully, it's difficult to make any real conclusions from statistics. For the same reason as, Mel, I'm thinking, I'm getting the vibe that you have a male relative that died of a disease. And yeah, am I right? Yeah, absolutely.
I would,
Score one for the psychic.
Score 1 for the psychic. So it's interesting. Let's see. Smithsonian had some tips on how to pass as a real psychic. So Smithsonian.com has some interesting things. They found this off the Skeptic Society package page. This is how you can be a totally real, legit psychic. Set the stage for an intimate, comfortable experience. It's like, depending on, it can lower the light, maybe play some Barry White music if it's, you're one of them psychics. I don't know how to do it. Oh, there we go. All right. So establish your psychic authority with props, such as important looking charts or bookcases full of reference books. So if you look terribly smart, it might work. Project a sympathetic personality. Yeah.
I have all of the things. But the thing is, I'm actually a really powerful psychic. So I don't know which is a cause and effect. I'm not sure.
Right. You can put your client in a receptive, cooperative mood by explaining that a reading is a team effort. It's it's you, me, and our discarnate, right? We're working together so we can all communicate.
Sounds like Scientology almost. Discarnate, like it's like they're trying to make it into like a religion or something.
You, me, and Rohypnol, and I can convince you of anything.
I mean, I'll take the Rohypnol, but don't brainwash me.
Oh my gosh.
Very drowsy. Relax.
Super drowsy.
Listen to the sound of my voice. Fuck's sake. I mean, it's basic. I use the same techniques in business meetings. I am a
James Randi's offered like $1 million to anyone who can demonstrate psychic abilities, and nobody's taken him up on it. And the offer's been up for decades. So
yeah, they probably don't have any way to do it. Nobody will do it because they can't do it, you know. And so the next thing you do is extract information from your client by disguising questions as statements, and then you appeal to the authority of ancient wisdom and mysterious secrets by peppering your reading with esoteric jargon. So pull us back, Bull, and let's discuss it.
The other thing is pay attention to your audience and watch exactly how they respond to each and every question. And anyone with even the modicum of ability to do this can pick up all kinds of information, depending on how folks respond to very pointed questions. And again, it's a technique I can teach you in about an hour.
You know,
it's not that
it's like a weird benign gaslighting that they're doing. So like they're trying to trigger an emotional response to get you emotionally invested and worked up, and they poke around until they can find whatever it is that triggers you. So, and then they almost like, I mean, they do it to get money, but it's like a weird, never mind. I was going to say it's like psychic vampirism in a weird way, but we're too sciencey here.
I think it's the very essence of that. You're basically probing and interrogating someone to locate their vulnerabilities and then exploit that. And I'm sure many people who do this do it with good intention, and I'm sure it's occasionally quite comforting to people, but it doesn't make it any less bogus.
No, it doesn't.
They're like picking their scabs off. They're picking their like emotional scabs off. Yeah, for money.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Anyway, exactly.
Well, I think it might be time to try a challenge. You up for it, Omni Eris? You up for it, Doc? Our new
I'm up for the Great American Challenge.
The Great American Challenge.
American Challenge.
Yeah. That giant rubber fist.
Oh, God.
You know that's actually modeled on my fist.
Is it? Wow, you're legendary.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this is from Roswell, our resident alien. That's a nice fist. It's almost standing.
My name is Roswell. Karen is still out on vacation with an AI from Google named Bob. So I'm here to introduce a brand new segment called Is It a Real Conspiracy or No? Now, your challenge will be to guess if the conspiracy I tell you is a real one or not. Are you ready, Doc? Are you ready, Omni?
I'm ready.
I'm strapped in.
All right.
I'm strapped on.
Here is your first conspiracy. Mexican babies are being stolen from Mexico and sold on the black market through Amazon.com. This is a conspiracy that's been bred out of the recent political issues associated with the US. So, is this a real conspiracy or no? What do you think?
I think it is a real conspiracy. I think that people really believe that. I'm going to say yes.
I actually know that's. I know that's true because I've got a couple of Mexican babies on the way by Amazon right now.
Yeah, that's how I get mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Overstock has some. Never mind.
Actually, it isn't a real conspiracy, but it's possible that somebody would think that. But I've yet to find anything like that on the internet. So that's not a real one. think so. Yeah.
Well, hey,
Although,
I'm sorry we got it wrong, but
children in detention are not being auctioned off, but they're being kind of farmed out in a way.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of true, isn't it?
that's not like exactly that even ridiculous, because Doc, we know the Tracy Joe who thinks that little babies are put in Sour Patch Kids and Jolly Ranchers for their adrenochrome. So any conspiracy sounds plausible to this.
That's right.
Okay,
Jolly
let's try
Ranchers.
this.
You heard it here first. They contain real rents.
Only the red
Let's
ones.
try the second one. Cool. Number 2.
I thought I heard people yelling in my hall.
Don't forget to play along with us at home, and in the side chat, Scientist Mel will give you points for getting it correctly. Now the next conspiracy. There's an evangelist who says that meatless burgers are Satan's work that's trying to make us less human and more evil. Is this a real conspiracy? Are there people who believe meatless burgers are the work of the devil?
Yeah, me.
In all seriousness, I think that there are people who believe that too, even knowing it's a roll of the dice. But again, they'll believe anything.
We have a video on that. It is real. Bull. Let's pull up the video.
We've heard way weirder than this.
You guys have been ruined. So,
yeah. Literally.
In Ross,
I can't even get a real job anymore.
Turn it up. We can't hear it.
Rick Wiles.
You're going to go to the grocery store and buy a pound of fake hamburger or a fake steak, and you won't know that it was grown in some big corporation's laboratory. This is the nightmare world that they're taking us into. They're changing God's creation. Why? Because they want to be God. They want to do exactly what Lucifer did before the flood. It's why God destroyed it. He said he regretted that he ever made mankind because they were destroying his creation. The Bible says God is coming back to destroy those who are destroying the earth. So God is an environmentalist. He takes this very seriously. He created this planet. He created the universe. And he's watching these Luciferians destroy his planet, destroy the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, change human DNA. Why? They want to change human DNA so that you can't be born again.
Stephen Hawking, right in the face.
That's where they're going with this, to change the DNA of humans so it will be impossible for a human to be born again. They want to create a race of soulless creatures on this planet.
Yep, that's what I do.
Oh, God.
This idiot believes that Jeffrey Epstein was put into witness protection and had a head transplant. I'm not even making that up.
Yeah, those are
I
big
wish I was
things.
kidding.
Well, witness protection's a thing, but head transplant less. So I love these assholes. Did you notice that he looked like he'd either had a bilateral stroke or masses of Botox because the upper part of his face just didn't move? It's like, I don't know how you do that. How do you speak like that? But here's the thing. It's quite topical. I can't mention names or places, but part of the thing I do is to change human DNA. to change it so that it goes from you change the DNA and then you put the DNA changed bits back, and the person, you know what happens? They don't die of cancer, but I guess they can't be reborn. So
yeah, they'll still go to hell.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Cure your cancer, but you know what? You're going to hell.
Who wants to go to heaven with this guy? If heaven is filled with people like that, I don't want to go there. Who the hell would?
It's what I don't understand is how in the world do you eat a plant burger and it changes your DNA? Because that's not even how it works.
Yeah, I mean,
There's little
if you eat a
nanotech
melon,
in there.
yeah, you're eating a whole bunch of melon DNA, and well,
It turns you into a melon.
every time, right? So you have to eat a chicken, so then it turns you back into a melon chicken.
Right.
Because that's what happens. You don't absorb DNA to your genome through your intestine, you fucking morons. It doesn't happen that way. I could inject you with DNA, and you know what? Nothing would happen other than an immune response, you morons.
We have 3 more challenges. Sorry, Bull, go for it.
I was just gonna say, isn't your DNA pretty much your whole life? It's what makes you you.
Can't hear Bull. Can't hear you, Bull, sorry.
I think he said, "Isn't your DNA your whole life?" Pretty much, I think.
Yeah, your DNA doesn't change at all your whole life. Like it's other than environmentally with telomeres and age and stuff, but it doesn't it's your DNA. That's how come they can tell you were at a crime that happened two decades ago.
Yeah, right. I mean, in broad strokes, you're totally right. Except the fidelity copying is really, really good, but not perfect. Right. So you're constantly coming up with errors that are either proofread out during the copying process, which is really cool, unless you're RNA, because you don't have that. Right. And sometimes things slip through, and as your immune system reacts to them, they get weeded out until you get older. And your immune system can't do it, you get cancer.
And I get that. I mean, I get that the mutation happens on a cellular level, though. It's not your entire body's cell.
You don't suddenly turn into don't turn into a lizard suddenly.
It's one cell typically, or 1 or 2 cells that do this thing, and then
usually takes about 6 months to turn into a lizard person fully, Mel.
Okay. Well, I learned things today. We have 3 more challenges. Let's see if you guys can get through the last 3 conspiracies. Is it real or not? Real or no?
Time for the next conspiracy. Aliens are taking dogs out of the Midwest America and mounting them with monitoring devices in order to observe humans in their natural habitat. This information is then fed back to the people of myself, us aliens, so we can understand how to better infiltrate your population. Is this a real conspiracy?
I'm going to say no, because aliens are out of fashion.
I'm pretty convinced this is a Dale Gribble special.
I mean, we do that with groundhogs, but I don't know about aliens.
I was just saying, we do that.
We strap cameras to their back.
This is not real. It is not a real conspiracy. So you guys did good. Yay!
Well, I did. Doc was wrong. Let's call it how it is.
It's a real conspiracy now. I've mobilized the assets.
Oh, you've got all the Twitter accounts retweeting it now?
That's right. It's going viral
trending.
as we speak. Look,
Lord.
Telling me it's definitely trending.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Trending.
I like it.
You can
trending.
Tell.
All right. Next challenge.
Time for your next conspiracy. Are you ready? Good. Sugar, the racehorse in 1983, vanished without a trace. The first thought that it might be the IRA, or perhaps it was Colonel Gaddafi, or even the Mafia, took this horse the night before a big race over 20 years ago. Is this a real conspiracy?
Yeah, 100%. I remember it well. It was all over the papers. And Shergar kept being found like the Ark of the Covenant and the Ark of Noah. Yeah, totally happened.
I don't know who Shergar is, but I'll go ahead and say yeah.
It is a real one. Let's pull up the picture. There you go. The mystery apparently was possibly solved by somebody who worked for the IRA, said that it was the IRA people, but it's hard to know. But yes, this was a thing. Sugar was a horse that was taken prior to a race, supposedly by the IRA, but it branched off into possibly the mafia and Colonel Gaddafi. So that was a real conspiracy. Good job, Doc.
Yeah.
I thought you might get that because that's right out your way, man.
Yeah, on that misty island. Yeah, I'm not Irish, but you know,
well, it's
nearby.
close to your area. It's nearby. Yeah. Last one. You got one more challenge. You guys are doing great. I'm proud of you. You know, keep it up.
Here is your last conspiracy. Black helicopters are being used by the UN in order to do secret missions to take over other countries, including the United States, because the UN has to infiltrate and control various different quiet organizations within the US, and they do this through missions with black helicopters. Is this a real conspiracy?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I would say yeah. Probably people believe that.
Yeah, because some helicopters are black. Therefore, case closed, right?
This is a real conspiracy. Let's have a look at the conspiracy theorist website. Black helicopters. There's like a whole bunch of people that just pull up this. They think it's not only that, it's been spread to other things, including special missions from the Army. So this says black helicopters are not just helicopters with a black paint job, as you may have been told. They are, in fact, autonomous agents, life forms created by the New World Order Agency.
Yep, Matrix LARPing.
Yep.
Agent
Through
Smith.
nanobiotech. Their primary purpose is to spy on the activities of average citizens in order to gather tactical information and discover subversives who are not bowing to the will of the Liberati's UN-backed federal government. Furthermore, when the NWO invasion takes place in the not-too-distant future, they will round up citizens for internment in concentration camps or carry out the elimination of the more vocally anti-Liberati. There we go.
Any day now. It's always any day now. And what bothers me most is hard on for a Holocaust. They're like rubbing their hands together going, yep, a whole bunch of people are going to get butchered yet again. And as long as it isn't me, I mean,
I feel like it would be such a... Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I just think it would be such an inefficient waste of resources to monitor people via nanobiotic sentient black helicopters when, you know, you could just hack their phones or something. It would be a lot easier to spy on them that way.
Send a couple of guys around to look at them. You know, it works real good.
Yeah.
Private investigators also tend to work.
They tend to work. I think Roswell has a message for you guys. This is round out the challenge.
You did exceptionally well. I will not abduct you and probe you this time, but I should warn you, I might be out in your area at some point in time. Perhaps, if you don't want me to probe you and steal you from your home, leave out a little bit of bourbon. I do like a good bourbon. Anywho, have a wonderful day and keep on conspiracy theorizing. TTFN!
I like getting probed, so...
Up for a probe there, but, you know, they can't all be winners, Michael. We could double
the probe's nothing compared to the Great American Challenge.
Oh, my goodness.
That poor
I'm still here.
alien. It's been autopsied. Are you smoking? I smoking weed.
It's
you know
tobacco.
What? I was driving.
It's totally tobacco.
I'm going to share a family moment with you guys because you're both wonderful. I was driving my dad back to the airport. Beautiful time, lovely countryside. Colonel Savage and Doc were driving there. lovely taster's choice moment. This is nice, Dad.
Hello.
And we drive past this gorgeous, enormous, like 20-acre field of pungent, gooey ganja just growing in the, perfectly legal
That's
and
nice.
totally farmed here. And I'm like, what a nice, I never thought I'd be able to say, look at that enormous field of ganja, Dad. Isn't that nice? And he's like, oh yeah, nice plant.
They
It's
should
like,
plant
what
them
a beautiful
everywhere.
thing. I know.
Anyone who wants weed should be able to go pick it up outside. Just go outside and pick it from somewhere. It should be growing freely.
Yeah.
Like weeds.
No.
We
It
grow
should be
weed
like air.
weeds. Yeah.
It's like the Netherlands has a lot of things right, like not locking people up for smoking a joint. Come on. Parts of America, you need to kind of get with it, I think.
Dude, there's people in prison in America for being busted with weed more than 3 times. For decades, they go to prison. But in the same states, there are rich white people running companies selling joints and like making millions of dollars who never were in any danger of going to jail. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's kind of
it's
insane.
hilarious. So here, not that I do this, I can buy up to 5 grams of hashish of various types every day. Up
That's
to
a
5
lot.
grams a day. Now, that's a whole
You smoking
bunch.
all of that?
No, I mean that. Even if I was doing that regularly, it would be like, no, that's a crippling amount. And the thing is,
Yeah, you wouldn't be
because
able
it's
to move.
yeah, but very, very few people actually do that. And overall, the consumption has dropped since it was illegal, based on
It drops
seizures
in
and
states
such.
here too when it becomes legal. Seems.
Yeah,
Oh, goodness.
it's kind of funny, isn't it? And instead of people having to do shady street deals, the government tax it like they tax cigarettes and alcohol and cakes. And we get a whole bunch of money going back to the schools and the hospitals, and it's totally cool.
Are you guys ready to see some stupid things on the internet?
Sure.
Yep. Let's nuke.
All right, well, let's play the audacity. Whenever you're ready, dude.
Oh.
We have a.
You got the audacity. You're going to jail. You got the audacity. My name is Demon. You got the audacity. That's all I got to say. You got the audacity. I stole $3,000. You got the audacity. Audacity. You got the audacity. Because you don't got no evidence. My name is Demon. My name is Demon.
Poor G man.
So check this out.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
She's exercising her faith.
Oh no, that can't. Oh no. No.
The
It looks
80s
like a
were
cat.
very strange.
She just had a live salmon rammed up her asshole.
Is it a good idea to stretch out your face like that?
No.
Like constantly?
It's gonna dislocate her jaw.
Wouldn't that create like more wrinkles?
What happened to Farrah Fawcett?
Oh my god. It looks like she's about to cough up a hairball. I mean, do cats not do this?
I just imagine people watching this on VHS in the 80s doing it along with her.
Okay, now the neck.
Now the neck. What's that? Oh my god. And here she witnessed the mating dance of a velociraptor. Or the lizard cougar out on the prowl. This is how you know she's keen. Oh my god. Oh man. Okay,
Glamour in the
well,
80s was strange.
I can't. It looks like if this is like Cat's outtakes where they don't like the coughing up the hairball.
Does look like that.
From the-
Farrah Fawcett. Poor Farrah. It all went
It's
tits up
strange.
Charlie's Angels, didn't it?
It's a strange time.
How do
She
you?
wearing a
Oh.
leotard?
Men and
Anyway.
women both wore their hair that way in the 80s too. It's like a unisex haircut.
Yeah, she's got the
That
David
kinda
Lee Roth action going on there.
I was
She
thinking
looked
more
like
of
she was having
Poison.
Yeah, she looks like
Yeah.
a poison. Dee Snider. She looked like Dee Snider.
Yeah, she.
That,
Oh
that
my
face
God.
that face has a connotation in medicine, and it's called rectal prolapse. That's exactly the face you make.
Oh yeah, I've made that face a few times.
Oh yeah,
I'm just
it's
kidding.
your intestines
On the
out.
top.
That's how it looks.
I was thinking she's like my brand new sleep paralysis demon.
Nice. I wouldn't want to wake up to that.
Oh my God, standing on my chest making that face. Are you going to spit out
reminds-
the hairball or not?
She reminds me of the granny and Poltergeist, or maybe one of the demons. I'm not quite sure, but I was being distracted a little bit by the whole outfit. Like, why are you wearing a leotard in your living room? You're trying to legitimize this as some kind of exercise.
Well, like, she did her makeup and her
Thing?
hair to go do the face exercises too. I mean, well, funny
Well, it's
times.
clearly not cardio. She's not putting up a sweat. She's more like toning the face.
I would think that stretching it out all the time would cause wrinkles, though, because then if you're expanding your skin on your face, then it's gonna, not gonna. You're supposed to want to tighten it, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
There's not really a great deal you can do other than having it tucked in, based on cross-linking of collagen and such. But the face solo was appreciated. She was 10 out of 10 for effort there.
So, you guys, so I have some information, some totally new information for you guys. Did you know, Omni, that this is breaking news? Did you know that gay people are caused by pregnant women having anal sex?
I did
you know that?
Yeah.
Did you learn that? Because
No, I remember when I was a baby. No, wait, that doesn't make any sense. I was gonna. Whole joke screwed up.
I think I'm gonna punch this guy in the face for saying things about your mom, because your mom's a lovely woman.
Yeah, I don't think my mom would ever do that.
yeah, this is what he said. So this comes to us from Sarah Beth Kaplan, and this was eventually essentially a video. It is a claim that defies both common sense and human biology. During his speech in June to a group of people in Akaki, the bishop, I probably said that wrong, so sorry. The bishop said Saint...
In the city of Bukkake?
Yeah, something like
Bishop
that, except the B is silent.
Bishop
Saint,
Bukkake.
huh?
So Bishop Bukkake talks about bot sex, breaking news
Something-
on Oral Audacity.
Yeah. So Saint Porphyrius made mention of the issue in his writings, and this is what this bishop says. It is a problem which is usually transmitted by parents to the child, the bishop said. He added that it occurs when the couple has sex while the woman is pregnant and the sex is unnatural, as he characterized anal sex. The bishop said that when the woman enjoys anal sex, a desire is created which is transmitted to the unborn child. All right, guys, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I didn't realize pregnant women like to have anal sex. I guess that's... I don't like to think about women having sex too much anyway, so it's hard for me to weigh in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really difficult, I mean, who knows? I wonder if you have any recollection of that particular experience while in utero.
I don't think so.
And,
if I did, I blocked it out.
What about people that are mostly straight and
they just had the tip
dating?
put in? It was just the
See,
tip.
I was
I'm going to
thinking,
ask my mom.
bi people. How did bi people happen? Or pansexual people? How does that happen?
Yeah, I'm going to ask
all
my
gay.
mom about that. She'll probably tell me. It's
You
like,
know?
oh yeah, the reason for that is I was encouraging your father with a tambourine going. That's why you're queer. Everyone knows that's true, right? Come on, Charlie.
See, this is what I find particularly confusing, because we look at that spectrum, and then we have Pat Robertson. Here's a video of Pat Robertson saying, it's okay because the gays will die out because they can't reproduce. Let's have a look at this video.
With my family, we are not allowed to date. The only ones in my church that are married already knew their partners before coming into church. It is treated as a sin to show interest or have a mutual understanding in church with the opposite sex. Most of the people in the church are frustrated because we're getting older and no one's getting married. We pray about the issue, but it seems like it is bouncing back. What should I do?
You know, those who are homosexual
Curious fucking George
will
here.
die out because they don't reproduce. You know,
homosexual people will die out because they don't reproduce.
Heterosexual sex to reproduce.
Genius.
Same thing with that church. It's doomed.
But what about anal sex? That's what I'm so confused about.
Thing I have heard in a long time. This is absurd. God has made us to be in families. God has created a desire of men and women to have attraction to the opposite sex so that they will reproduce and have children. If I were you, I'd get out of that church as fast as I could, cast the dust of it on your feet, shake off the dust, and run.
Okay.
Yeah, old moron. Hateful little bigot.
I missed. What did
Can
he
I
say?
can I challenge his core argument there? It'll take me about 5 seconds.
Sure, go for it.
Right, the gays are going to die out because they don't reproduce. Straight couples have gay babies all the time. It's rough 1 in 5, maybe 1 in 10, all the time. So there it goes, you idiot.
I mean, how did we get here to begin with? If gay people, I mean, obviously, I don't know. A lot of people who have children are still actually gay as well. So I don't even know what is. In fact, most of these huge Christians who are constantly going on about how homosexuality is wrong are gay secretly, or at least have gay thoughts. So, you know, they're going to keep reproducing, and including Pat Robertson. I'm sure he's a little gay.
But see, butt sex gives us gay babies. So I don't know.
There's not even the kernel logic in this entire argument. And basically, I'd have a lot more respect for the guy if he just came out and said, you know what? I don't like gay people because reasons. I don't have to justify it. Just don't like them. I'd be like, you're an asshole, but you're honest. But no, they're going to die out because they don't make me. Fuck you. He's going to die out long before gay people die out.
I just love that a guy who made his fortune selling blood diamonds mined from Africa by essentially slaves has the nerve to judge anyone, like especially gay people who never did anything to it. All they ever do is deflect and victimize the weakest people that they can think of in society so that nobody realizes that they're the actual monsters.
Yeah, it's true, but you have to have some respect and credit where it's due. He is at least an A-list big grifter motherfucker. You know,
He's
pretty
like
much
a cockroach. He won't go away.
I just realized he's the result of the DNA changing from the vegetables into a reptile. That's what happened to Pat Robertson. I got it.
Or he was just replaced by aliens or something. Or possessed. He could be possessed by a demon.
Don't insult Roswell. Roswell would not probe Pat Robertson.
Well, there's good and bad aliens. So there's a lot of people. Go ahead, Doc.
I'm having another psychic emanation. Pat Rob has got at least one dark. Just like all of these bigoted assholes, there's an element of projection involved. I don't know what it is. He may have the skins of children drying in his attic, or a collection of tiny shoes, but there's some dark shit going on with him.
I mean, considering what we know publicly, there must be. But whatever.
So, Doc, I know you were concerned about Slippery Dan the Mouse. Did you realize that there are spiritual rats that are available for money?
It's okay, I already murdered them.
Let's have a look, Bull, about spiritual rats. So here we go. Here's a number you can call. Get the wealth you deserve. Money delivered in 6 hours. So Sangoma charges upfront fee. So I went to the website. So go to the next, clicked on the website. So here's what the website says. It's a spiritual traditional healer money spells. So this person's been in South Africa for a long time in other countries and have realized how much the power of money spells in the USA is needed. I charge around $500 as an upfront fee. All my results happen within 24 hours. And so it's a Sangoma Baba Messi, and I specialize mainly in Amagan Donwe spiritual rats together with my great fathers, and I perform the ritual, which is a mixture of magic and muthi, which is a person must state how much you want. So you can state that you want $500,000 to 10 millions, and the rats will deliver it for you wherever you are. No one sees them because it's magic. Isn't that amazing, Doc?
Yeah, it sounds totally legit as fuck.
How come they don't just use the rats to make themselves rich?
Exactly. That's why they need to charge $500 is like the retainer for the rats, presumably.
That's what it is. That's what it is. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll refund your money, period. No questions asked. And this is located in New York.
What a bunch of horseshit.
That's got to be illegal in New York. They don't even allow fortune telling in New York. Unless you say it's for entertainment purposes, then they are allowed to do whatever you want.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, here it is in New York. I mean, there are fucking rats everywhere. So
that's
presumably, you steal. It's going to give me money.
I guess it's better they do that than they wind up on a. I guess it's better they do that than they wind up on a stick and being sold out of a cart on the street corner.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They aren't some places.
Don't be concerned about Slippery Dan. I killed him very humanely and then fed him to the owls. So, you know, circle of life and all that.
See, that's awesome. You know, from the day we arrive on the planet, blink and step into the sun. You know? Now we got to sing like Elton John, or, you know, I don't do African versions of that song so well because I'm not African.
And I'm not
too Elton John, you'll get a copyright strike.
That's right. You can't say Elton John anymore.
I'm a rocket man.
Oh, and now you've done it. Demonetized.
Demonetized. I get demonetized just by saying the word vagina. Vagina. Demonetized automatically just by saying that. So it doesn't matter.
I stopped even trying to stay monetized. There's no point to even try anymore.
There's really not.
Hey, not unless you're a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get monetized.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Nazi vaginas funded by the NRA, you know.
That's right. You're not supposed to say Nazi. I forgot about that.
Oh, God.
You're literally not supposed to say that. They demonetize you for using that word now.
That's right, isn't it? Because they don't exist anymore. Because we live in imagination land, and fascism isn't just loitering under the surface in America.
Yeah. In America. Did you see? Okay, so Dr. Jen Gunter has a book. And the title is Vagina, and Twitter censored all of the tweets associated with her book, even though it is a medical term. They will not let her tweet about
Twitter.
It's weird.
That's funny.
Twitter is crazy because. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the puppetry of the penis. 500 different ways you can make shadow puppets with your scrotum and penis. That was all over Twitter, but presumably vajayjays, jingos, that's an issue. I don't know why.
I think it's weird that Twitter will censor that, but then they have accounts on there which are straight up promoting the idea that white genocide is happening, and they're promoting white nationalism and all of this crap, just straight up the white man is being oppressed. We must rise up against these oppressive racial forces. And Twitter's like, this account does not violate terms of service. Oh my God, you called Tommy Lahren a bimbo? Suspended!
She is. Based on all definitions of bimbo, she is a bimbo.
If you go call Tommy Lahren a bimbo, you will get suspended. It's been happening to people for the last 2 weeks. It's just insane.
Don't say vagina.
Go call her a bimbo.
Don't do that unless, really, they will suspend you. I'm not even kidding.
And never make fun of Nazis, even although the guys that are going to rise up always seem to be the most inept, marginalized douche nozzles in the world.
Right.
It's like, you're going to rise up in an army of tards. Great. You're going to last 5 seconds.
It'll be an army of Walmart scooters heading towards you with massively overweight people with 4,000 assault rifles strapped to their backs that they don't even know how to fire.
And as soon as they start popping off rounds, they're going to end up shooting each other. You know that, right? Because
I know, and then they'll turn on each other. Yeah, it's always the people calling for the revolution never leave their armchairs or turn off Fox News. So it's just, I'm not too worried about it. Well, every once in a while, some crazy white kid from 8chan goes and kills about 40 people in public, every week or two. Or, a few times a week sometimes.
Yeah, and by the way, from the rest of the world to America, that's really, really, really fucked up beyond all recognition. That is a really
most
bad
Americans
thing.
know that.
It's not normal, but yeah.
A small political lobby has massively inordinate amount of power in America, and that's the only reason that this crap is allowed here. If you were to ask everyone, if you asked every single American, almost every single one of them would be probably for banning assault rifles, or at least the majority would be for banning assault rifles, but 10% of psychos seem to have 90% of control.
You know what? Have a militia. Been in militia. I think it's a good idea. But
that's what the Second Amendment initially called for.
A well-regulated militia.
Giving out weapons randomly or, with minimal checks is a little alarming to me. In order to get a firearm here, I have to go through a background check, a criminal records check, a medical history. I have to prove that I can use the weapon safely and appropriately and that I have a legitimate cause for having it. And it has to be stored in a very particular way. And you know what? It's designed to take lives. So I'm really glad that it's hard to get a hold of that. A thing happened in Britain. We had a mass shooting involving handguns, and it was awful. This happened at graduate school, and what happened was people went around to police stations and handed in their firearms. So we don't want this, and the law caught up with what was happening. So, yeah, more guns probably not the answer, and stop killing the kids.
We've got lawn darts are banned in the United States because one child died from a lawn dart accident in the 80s. How many children have died from mass shootings at this point? And The Second Amendment in no way says that you should be able to have a weapon that can kill 100 people in a minute. It says a well-regulated militia very clearly. So I don't know how anyone is interpreting this in any other way than what it very clearly states.
Yeah, I agree, and not even counting the mass murders. How many kids die of firearms inflicted wounds in their own homes? Because statistically, you have a weapon in your home, the odds of either you using it on yourself or an accidental or potentially fatal shooting resulting from a kid going, "Oh, look at this." That happens sadly very often. But I can hear people saying responsible firearms owners don't have this problem, and I agree. But the very fact that you have a weapon means it's more likely to end up in a bad thing. Says he who has weapons.
Wrong. You are not wrong. You know.
I feel like part of the reason that, in particular, conservatives allow this to happen is because if you have a climate of fear, it's a lot more easy to exploit the stupid into voting for you, which is weird because like they're the ones that are creating the climate. But I mean, almost all of these shooters, with the exception of one or two, are crazy right wingers that are radicalized by like 8chan and 4chan. So. And then they always post their manifestos to those sites. It's not like it's a bunch of random people and we can't figure out what the common denominators are. The common denominators are blatantly obvious to everyone.
I'm of the opinion that most of the people, and you're right, Michael, the demographic is very clear and almost invariable. I'm pretty sure they would find some justification, excuse, and platform irrespective of social media. But the fact that automatic weapons are readily available, semi-automatic weapons are ready, just makes mass murder a whole hell of a lot easier than if you're the spork. What did these guys used to do? I don't know, maybe shout and scream at the mall and slap few people rather than
they used to have no outlet, and we used to have mental asylums for when they inevitably went crazy to throw them into. But now there's no mental asylums, and now they can go buy guns at Walmart.
Yeah.
We're asking for it by allowing this to happen. We're just like, it's all set up to where, I'm not saying it's intentionally set up by like a group of people, but I'm saying the way that things are set up, it's going to happen over and over and over again. And the more it happens, it's going to increase in frequency because it's going to become so normalized. It's already happening.
Here's a thought for you. This is a thought experiment, and it's definitely not wishful thinking, and I'm meaning that totally sincerely. Imagine that there was a mass shooting among people who might be considered A-list, the great and the good, one of their split gatherings. I'm sure there would be public outcry quite justifiably, but I think in that the response might be more direct in terms of legislation, unimportant plebs.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of feel that way, particularly when with the Brady bill that came out when Reagan was shot. They had a waiting period that needed to be put in place, and one of the people that protected Reagan when he was shot was, ended up being disabled because of him blocking the bullets. And so that's where his name is Brady, and that bill came out to where you'd have to have a waiting period before you could get it. And that was to protect presidents who were coming to town, and for people who wanted to assassinate them, they had to wait 2 weeks before they could get a gun. That's really, I don't even know if that's the case across the board anymore, if every state has to enact that or not.
I mean, it seems like a pretty basic precaution, eh? I mean, if you wander into a gun shop drunk, like, I need a gun right now. No, just hang on a little minute there. Slow your roll. Maybe you don't need a gun right now. If you do think you need a gun right now, that's a big problem in itself, because you probably don't. I mean, I mean, presumably you're not in the jungle somewhere with like gigantic predators. Then you probably need a gun, probably.
It's like the South Park episode where they go hunting. Like, look at that buddy! It's coming right for us. If you yell that first, then you can shoot anything you want.
People have done that. That's what George Zimmerman basically essentially did to Trayvon Martin. Was he followed him around with the gun and essentially stalked this kid and then provoked him into, giving him a reason to shoot. So
yeah.
Oh God, that's
He
horrible.
reminds me of Jack Palin, with the sheep herder. Pick up the. I don't want to pick up the gun. Pick up the gun. No, you'll shoot me. Pick up the gun. He had a gun. Yeah. Antagonize someone so you have to, quote unquote, defend yourself. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, but stand your ground in Florida, boy, that's a thing that exists.
Yeah.
Is that the one where if someone kind of makes you feel uncomfortable, you can machete them?
You can shoot them. Yeah, you can shoot them. It doesn't work for everybody. Mostly it's not good for people who are not white. If you're white, works great. Most of the time, there's one person recently who was convicted who is a white person who's probably going to go to jail for shooting a person of color because I was standing my ground. But that almost never happens. So it's usually counterproductive, and it puts a lot of people of color in prison.
What I don't really understand, and maybe I'm being naive, but self-defense is enshrined in law, and presumably, if you feel the need to kill someone, you're in fear of losing your own life. So why do we stand your ground? I mean, it sounds like a redundant unless we're talking about two different things. And if stand your ground is you have the right to take a life for no other reason than someone's in your face, I don't really agree with that.
I don't either. We probably need to wrap this up soon, Doc. It's like, are you turning into a pumpkin?
Yeah,
are you
I am.
sprouting roots?
It's almost 10 past Cinderella here, and I have to change some more DNA tomorrow. But it has been a great deal of fun.
Yeah, Tim Holmset's almost chewed his way through his own leg over in the corner, so I gotta go make sure he doesn't escape again as well.
Yeah, take off his ear and that'll settle him down.
I'll make him eat his own foot.
Send it to me. Send me his ear and a toe. I want a toe. Give me a toe.
Alrighty.
Well, Omni, tell them where they can find you and what your show is about. We'll wrap up with that. So,
just finding me on the channel Omni Eris. I do 3 secret shows a month for $5 patrons, and then I do 3 to 5 public shows, including some shows with Doc for PvP. And it's basically just covering psychos and scammers and cult leaders and people who think that they're God, etc., etc.
Everybody immediately go and subscribe and watch all of the shit, and it will transform your life and give you magical powers. Do it now. Do it now.
His link is in the description. So do check it out. Do check out his show. I watch it from time to time. It's almost like an endurance test when you get to the urine therapy. I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit here and try not to barf.
Well, thanks for having me on.
This is so much fun. I'm so glad you get to be here. So, check out Omni Eris, like, share, and subscribe. If you like what we do, I have a Patreon too, patreon.com/ScientistMel. My science show Saturday, we talked about string theory. Boy, that was fun. So you can check out my sources for that on ScientistMel.com. All right. So, Bull.
Give her your money.
And I give Bull my money too. He produces the show. So, Bull, do you have any last thoughts before we kind of sign off? Always had it.
Not really. Not really.
Thanks.
Not really. Both
Thanks again. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much for being here. Bye.
I absolutely adore Doc.
Because I have testicles for some reason.